Hey guys, welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. So, after re-witnessing the chilling brownie video and the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, where Gypsy Rose eerily mentions her boyfriend who has just taken the life of her mother as he's indulging in brownies before giggling to the camera and says he is eating brownies, but later he will be eating me. And a very, I don't know, campy voice. Well, as campy as squeaky Gypsy Rose's voice can get, anyway. I don't know. I couldn't help but ponder the sex pot nature of Gypsy's mother, the vampy Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard. I mean, if you've seen any of her younger photos, you will know what I'm saying. Tonight, let's delve into Dee Dee's past and explore some of her old photos and videos. And let's dive into the taxi cab and hotel footage of Gypsy Rose and Nick Godejohn on the fateful brownie night that Dee Dee with Dee Dee Blanchard met her tragic end on this episode of Parawomen Radio. While I wait for everyone to roll in, I'm going to roll some credits. Special shout out to my replay crew and to my dragonflies. You made it. It's Gypsy Rose Freaky Friday, babies. Guys, welcome to Parawomen Radio. I'm Amy.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly, deep in the heart of sin and you. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you. Here in the blue, I'm dancing with you tonight, and it feels fine. Carefully strumming this old guitar again, words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, I'd steal them and fly away with you for a while. Here in the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day.
I can never miss my cue because I know that I'm going to be here every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, talking to you probably about the Gypsy Rose case, maybe about the Watts case, perhaps the Blaine Boone case. Who knows? I'm sure Sarah Boone's just so pleased that I used that in a sentence. How's everyone doing tonight? Tonight, we'll be talking about Gypsy Rose and Dee Dee Blanchard and a little bit about Nick, too. How's everyone doing tonight? I see the cat's live. It's good to see you back. Where you been, girl? We missed you. What's normal? How you doing? Chrissy, hi, girl. Heavenly, hey, mama. How's everyone else doing? It's Friday. I'm very happy because it is Friday. I am struggling with the emotions. On this micro dosing journey, I will say that I was going to be proactive Amy, who just didn't let things happen anymore. And so I was proactive Amy, and it doesn't matter. Proactive Amy is sitting here without her medication. And so you don't know, I don't know what Amy you're going to get tonight. So, woo. So I've been up and down my emotions. I started microdosing and transitioning off of my other medications. And then the company that I am microdosing didn't send me my medication, just didn't send it. I'm like, it's my medication. I mean, I'm transitioning off of my other medications. How is this okay? But it's probably why I'm microdosing, is I don't know how to handle these things. So I'm trying to deal with it. And here we are. We're going to talk about Gypsy Rose, a topic that typically makes me pretty PO'd. I get pretty angry and riled up with the Gypsy Rose case. I just can't stand the fact that she's grifting us all. And yes, she has come from a grifting family. I think a grifting family on both sides, but I don't know. We're going to find out tonight. We're going to investigate and explore. I've got a lot of stuff for you, a whole lot of stuff for you. Yeah, but it's 7:05 p.m. your time. It's it's okay. I will have to get the time zones all together for you. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we convene on Friday, Wednesday, and Sundays. And then whenever I pop in other times. Whenever I feel like it. I like to do daytime lives, but the baby bird likes to chime in on my daytime lives, and not everyone appreciates it. So when we go live during the day, I try to put him in the back room, and then he usually joins us midway. And I'm planning on going live tomorrow during the day because I need to catch up on the Blaine Boone case. So much is happening before my very eyes. But back to this case, so much is happening before our very eyes with this case, right? Just before I came on, I saw that there was a interview with Gypsy Rose's aunt. I had heard whisperings about the fact that the Petres, which is Gypsy Rose's mother, Claudine, Dee Dee Blanchard's side of the family, they were talking about suing Gypsy Rose. And I had kind of been hearing whisperings and rumbles about that. And just before I went live, I did see that there had been a live done with the aunt. So we are going to take a look at that. So that may push off the brownie and the taxi cab and the hotel and motel footage. I don't know. I might be able to pull it through in one night. But if it's not, then we'll just schedule it. I'll just do it for, I don't know, tomorrow's live or something. But let's start into this live. Okay. You ready? You guys ready? I'm ready. Let me get my screen all together for you. I forgot to have it ready for you. Okay. So we all know Dee Dee Blanchard, kind of like the photo that let me make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, kind of like the photo that you're seeing in front of me. This is basically what she looked like when she passed away, but Dee Dee went through like quite a metamorphosis in the last few years of her life, I must say. We know her as this Dee Dee. It's this Dee Dee. And this is where Gypsy Rose is an adult being wheeled out on stage for this event. But this is sort of how Dee Dee is known in a lot of the news footage, because this is a very popular event.
I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hour.
Ugh. And we know her as this Dee Dee, a little bit younger here. This was when they got the house.
It's Mayberry. We're moving to Mayberry.
It didn't take a lot to convince Dee Dee and her daughter Gypsy Rose to make a new home in Aurora. They already knew it was meant to be.
It is the perfect town, the perfect place. I think it was a blessing in disguise. It took something like a hurricane to make us have a happy ending.
Dee Dee was happy enough just having medical care for Gypsy. She says she never expected this.
It's amazing. It's amazing, the outpouring of love and support.
Dr. Janet Jordan met Dee Dee and Gypsy while on a mission trip to the hurricane-ravaged areas. She says she knew right away she'd see them again.
They're like lost souls who were meant to have been born and raised in Aurora.
After arranging a helicopter ride from Louisiana to St. John's Hospital, the process began to find them a permanent home. It turns out St. John's already owned this house, and with the help of local donations, it was turned into a home.
I think that's just kind of what we're all about. You know, we're all about.
So we know Dee Dee as all of these Dee Dees, and Dee Dee was also a very sexy Dee Dee. I wanted to show you some of these photos that I have found. Actually, Chris C helped me find quite a few of these. Chris C is one of my wrenches, and Heavenly is my other beautiful wrench, and I couldn't do what I do without these two lovely ladies. So thank you so much to the both of you. Chris C helped me quite a bit with getting this footage, and I just want to give shout outs to my Chris C.
Dee Dee, I understand if you're sick, if you don't feel good, could you please call me back, or at least pick up the phone and let me know that everything's okay.
Wash this away. This wound is too deep to heal now. But don't worry about me. I'll paint on my smile. This world is too shallow to drown me. There is the moon.
Yes, people in the area are very undereducated and
orange glow, smiling at me,
and just not savvy in the ways that some people are, but they're savvy in other ways.
That old comfort I know keeps calling. wish that the night would swallow this day, and the clouds wouldn't steal the moon from me. But the rain starts to fall, and the moon fades away. This wound is too deep to heal now. Where is the moon hanging low? I miss that wonderful orange glow, smiling at me straight through the rain. That old comfort I know keeps calling me. There is the moon hanging low. I see that wonderful orange glow, smiling at me straight through the rain. That old comfort I know keeps calling me.
So, do I think Dee Dee was a perfect saint? No. Do I think that Dee Dee did unlawful things? Yeah. Do I think that she deserved to die for it? No. And yeah, where she comes from, it's a very uneducated, just kind of an easygoing, get along kind of person, you know, sorry, lifestyle. And yeah, I mean, yeah, the family is a grifting family. But also, just before I came live, I was listening a little bit to what was being said, and apparently Rod's family, his dad has been arrested for stealing, and I don't know, this is all allegedly, this is just what I heard. I'll urge you to go out and do your own research. This was coming from the aunt, Gypsy's aunt, saying that Rod's family is a grifting family as well, and that Dee Dee said to her family that she didn't actually start grifting until she met Rod. So take that for what it is. We're going to watch that in a little bit. Okay, so let's keep going. So I have the question in my mind when I was doing all of this was, if Gypsy was so terrified of her, was Dee Dee's whole family terrified of her? And I was asked in this Reddit, and the person says, after revisiting the HBO documentary and watching some of the Lifetime documentary, a lot of my initial questions still remain. One thing that really stands out to me, though, is that as weird and as messed up as Dee Dee's side of the family might be, they all seem to know that Dee Dee was dangerous and mentally unstable, yet no one really did anything to try to stop her and protect Gypsy. Not even Rod. I know he was a teenager and didn't really know any better, but it's still kind of shocking to me, the lack of digging he did to find out what was happening. It's amazing to me how he just always took Dee Dee's word for it. I mean, the lady is known fraudster and was purported to have poisoned her stepmom. Did no one ever think her behavior with Gypsy is strange? Even her criminal history? Maybe something more sinister is going on. I don't know. I know the family was troubled long before Gypsy was even born, so it may be asking a lot for them to be vigilant about abuse when Claude is committing abuse himself. It just seems to me like they were pretty wild cracks, and they might have been closed had someone just stood up to Dee Dee. Or was it all Dee Dee? Maybe it wasn't all Dee Dee. Maybe if the narrative Gypsy's selling us isn't true, maybe the narrative that other people are selling us isn't true. What do you guys think? This person says, dude, yes. And like, I think Claude may have been aware of the abuse, but since he was abusing Gypsy and probably abused Dee Dee and or siblings in the past, he didn't say anything. But here's the thing. People are saying that Dee Dee never told anybody that she was abused. Gypsy's the only one that knows this. I never like to question anybody about being abused in the S manner or any manner. But Gypsy lies about everything. Shouldn't we question this too? And I have to say, Claude's answer when asked about this was, well, she touched me. No, she touched me. But if we know about anything about and this is just me thinking in my mind about the microcephaly, and it caused hypersexuality, and Claude not being very sophisticated. Is this the only way he knew how to answer? Because was she? I mean, this is just horrible to think. I just hate that. I hate the avenues and the roads this case takes me. But what do you think about all of that? It's going to be talked about in this live that we're going to watch in just a little bit. When the family is asked about what do they think about it? They don't think it happened.
I'm thinking, oh my God, my aunt's dead. Because I think,
Hold on a second. Let me get it back.
I was like, who did Dee Dee piss off now? You know, what kind of shit did Dee Dee get into? I wasn't thinking, oh my God, my aunt's dead. Because I figured that one day she pissed off somebody to that point, you know. And I actually did think that it'd probably be Gypsy, you know. And whenever we later got the word that Gypsy was fine and she was by her boyfriend's house, we were like, she killed her mom. She finally did. She couldn't take it anymore, you know. She finally just said, fuck it all. This bitch.
Faking Gypsy's illnesses wasn't the only thing Dee Dee did in her life. She had a long history of stealing, frauding, and even abusing her mother. Most of Dee Dee's family believe she got what was coming to her. They even flushed her ashes down the toilet.
Now, in the interview, the aunt says no, they didn't flush the ashes down the toilet. In fact, that would be illegal to do something like that. It would be I think she could be arrested federally or something like that. So no, she didn't. They didn't have the ashes flushed down the toilet. One of the siblings or somebody has the ashes. So that, in fact, didn't happen. And it didn't even cross it didn't dawn on me that would be like something illegal to do. Like, you You can't flush somebody's ashes. I didn't even think about that. How silly. So why don't I just stop talking about this live and let's just go in and watch it. This is over on, I found it over on Conspiracy Tea. As always with everything, I usually don't read everything in its entirety, and or we everything that we watch, I stop and start or I talk over it, and I must do this for fair play use, but I will put the link to everything that we view in this live down in the description, and you can go and view it when you get the chance. What are you guys thinking before I start this? What do you guys think? Do you think that Dee Dee as horrible as Gypsy says it is? She is? Or do you think that she's somewhere in the middle? Flushing human remains would be such a mess. Michigan doesn't have a lot of laws around scattering other than the lakes. Yeah. I don't know. She just said, the aunt just says in this live that flushing in Louisiana is a federal offense or something. I think they hated each other. Gypsy hated Dee Dee. Oops. You would have to have some kind of hate in your heart to do what she did, I would think. No soul, no personality, no nada. Dee Dee got her justice. Look how she lived and died. Morals, stop enabling the victim. No one is innocent in this story. I wouldn't say Dee Dee got her justice. Actually, I wouldn't say Dee Dee got... Well, does that mean Dee Dee got her justice as in what came to her? Or does that mean that... At first, when I started reading it, I was thinking that you were going to say that Dee Dee just got some kind of justice, like universal justice, but I don't think that's what you mean. Rod was arrested many times. Yeah, he was. In fact, the aunt, I think, shares something about he was arrested the night of their wedding, Dee Dee and Rod's. Hi, Jedica. How are you doing, honey? Bobby is in it for the money. Oh, and by the way, that was the wrong clip that I showed you. I meant to show the one where they were talking about how they didn't believe that Claude molested either Dee Dee or Gypsy. Bobby is in it for the money and has connections with Christy. Bobby loves the spotlight. Well, he's got a tattoo parlor. I'm sure it's helped his tattoo parlor quite a bit. Or he does tattoos. I don't know if he owns the parlor. I don't know the ins and outs to all that. Got her karma, maybe. What did Heavenly say? Everyone's agreeing with Heavenly. Worried about yes, especially if it's a girl. I'm terrified. I think everybody has forgotten about what Gypsy and Nick agreed to do to their baby. And that's just the text that we saw. So, okay, let's get into this. Before I do, I forgot to do our algorithm dance party. So if we could just start warming up our fingers and dancing them up to the hearts and thumbs up button, helps us go out into the algorithm party out there, bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's really, really appreciated. We're coming to you today on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hi, everyone. Okay, let me get this going. So this is Dee Dee Blanchard's sister, Claudia. Dee Dee Blanchard's sister, Claudia, has friends speak on live. I don't know what that means, but I think this means her sister Claudia is on this live. I feel like maybe I am not speaking the right language tonight. Have you ever, like, when my brain is kind of like going through it, I just feel like I am just like off, speaking a different language in a different time space continuum. I don't know. When she first joined the live, she said Dee Dee's family was not going to sue Gypsy for fear of retaliation, since Gypsy accused her grandfather of SA.
They miss their sister. No matter what anyone says,
So
they
from what
miss
I
her.
can tell, this is well, this is conspiracy. It looks like there's somebody named Dave, Baby Girl, Jox, Katie Joy, and Jen, I don't know what it cuts off. So, and this is over on, what's her name? Ivory Rose? What's her name? I can't remember. I know that she's like, I heard someone say that it's a bunch of nurses over on her channel talking about the case.
They did not get closure. They didn't get to see, they didn't even really know if it was really their sister or not. And so I'm like, well, I have crime scene photos. And she said, can you send me one? I said, I will send you the least traumatic one there is. And so I did. And she said, yeah, that's my sister. So I know that who I have on my mantle is her.
I'm so sorry you had to do that.
And just so you know, she sneaks in and Claudia herself sneaks in and watches your live all the time.
Oh, thank you. Tell her I appreciate it. And again, if you guys need anything, if there's anything that I can do for you guys, please let me know.
I sure will let her know. And as up for Christy, her most famous line, that's all lies. Oh yeah, I can message her too, because I became friends with Claudia and Christy back in 2015, day one. And it's always all lies with Christy. I could send her a message and say, hey, so I hear, Gypsy's done this, or Gypsy's, that's all lies. Yeah, right. She's the biggest liar there is out there.
Can I ask you a question?
Petre is amazing, and she'll tell you how it is. Go ahead.
I really can't speak to those videos. What's normal, because I've never seen these videos, and neither has anyone else that's talking about them. I'm only able to speak to what I have seen and heard. And so if you ever want to shoot those my way, go right ahead. Parawomenradio@gmail.com. What's Normal says, I've seen vids. Family didn't want much to do with Dee, unstable, frightened for their lives. None of them are saying that, though. Well, at least this lady's not saying that.
Ask you a question. Why does Gypsy think she's going to be sued by them?
That I have no idea.
They really think she's going to be sued.
I have no idea, but they've been hiding that money and trust in Christy, Rod, and Mia's name since day one when they started getting paid for all of them interviews.
Oh, wow.
I believe that.
They know you guys can sue, and they literally, you can tell Claudia, Christy said she's too stupid to do it. That's what she said. They're too stupid to sue us.
I understand that because he's so old and it's not something I want to do now, but I would
I'm not really sure if the family should be taking legal advice from YouTuber and TikTokers, though, and especially from a YouTuber that likes, like, she's in so many lawsuits. My heart would just stop if I had to go through all that, I think. I don't know. Or maybe you get used to it the more it happens, but I don't think they should. If the family doesn't want to go into a lawsuit, then, and it also makes me think that if the family doesn't want to go into the lawsuit, do they think that Claude did something and they're afraid he's going to be going to prison for it? Like, why aren't they doing it? They say it's because Claude's so old.
Definitely keep that in your back pocket.
Oh, most
I told them, I also told her she better not accuse someone that's still alive of SA if he didn't do it.
Yeah, he didn't do it. So, and this is what he explained to Claudia and Delora. He said, when little kids, they come running up to you and hand out and they put hands where they shouldn't be. He said, that's what Gypsy was doing. And I told her, no, don't do that. So that's what he was surely meaning.
That's what I just said. Or I don't know. Maybe he had time to think, because it just seems so icky to me, because listen, if Gypsy Rose is lying about the essay, I think above everything else, that will help her burn in hell if she's lying about that. Yeah.
The three of them was in the bathtub. Claudia says, you know what, I'm going to send you a picture of this bathtub. It's too small for 3 people to fit in. The closet there, she said, 1 person can barely fit in there. So where did this happen? Because it didn't.
Yeah.
But if you notice, that's the only time Gypsy's really mentioned that.
Is that the only thing?
It is interesting too, but also, have you noticed how tiny the Petres are? When I was looking at Gypsy's baby photo and then DeeDee's baby photo, and they're like short. They're DeeDee's, Gypsy, like how does it have how tall DeeDee was in her Wikipedia? Does Wikipedia list how tall you are? I don't know. Does it? Seems like it should. If it doesn't, I want stats. But I know, like, I saw somewhere that Gypsy is like 4'11", so I'm sure. And in looking at the photos, we never saw them standing side by side, of course. But I mean, one didn't look huge. DeeDee didn't look really above 5 foot, so there's that.
It's keeping the family from suing her? Is it they're in fear that she would retaliate at the grandfather?
Yes, it is. Now, he's old. He's almost 86. And, we know he's not going to be here forever. And the moment he passes away, guess what? It's going to happen.
So I don't think she would even, he's 86. What could she do? Really, what could she do? She's already said what she has to say. That's not like they're going to press charges or investigate him. I think I would hit it while it's hot.
Just be very careful, because there's statute of limitations on these types of cases, and you can't wait forever. Even if the family deserves to have this money, and they absolutely deserve to bankrupt her, and Gypsy deserves to be in prison, and someone needs to be fighting for DeeDee.
Yes,
exactly. And a little tidbit of information here: Mr. Rod Blanchard, the night that him and DeeDee got married, Claude Jr. had to go get him out of jail.
No, why?
Oh, for what?
Drunken incident, that sort of thing, being drunk and stupid.
Gotcha.
Jeez. Poor DeeDee.
And according to Claudia, DeeDee did not start conning and scamming until she met Rod.
Oh.
Wow. DeeDee was a spoiled little princess. DeeDee, if DeeDee didn't want to go outside and go play, she wasn't made to go outside and go play. If mommy went and laid down to take a nap, DeeDee was going with her mama. She was a mama's girl. DeeDee had a heart of gold. And she loved everybody.
Someone told me that it was actually Christy that planted the idea in DeeDee's head to do the con.
Oh.
Claudia hadn't told me that, but she said it's when she met Rod when she started doing it. And
somebody knew.
Okay, where is Morbid when we need him? We need him to be controlling this poor audio situation here. Oh, the one thing that can drive me from a video is too much going on in the audio. I will say that.
Their background, there's a lot of background noise.
Well, isn't Rod's dad a criminal? He's a thief. He's been arrested for burglary and robbery.
That's what I've heard. But as of for Mr. Dave, we all love you. We're here for your family. And I have been in the governor's ear. I've been in Parole's ear. I've been
looking for a spoon or something. What's going on? Are they in the spoon drawer? That's what it sounds like. Or maybe like the junk drawer.
On the phone all week with them. And I'm waiting for more calls.
Is anyone from the family contacting? Is anyone from the Petre side contacting the parole board about Gypsy?
Claudia has not said. They want nothing to do with her, though.
Yes.
Wow. I really hate to see them wait, because I'd hate for them to miss their window. And the only way you're going to hurt or get any kind of restitution from her as if you do it now, because that's what's going to hurt her if you hit her in the pocketbook. She doesn't care about anything else in this world besides money and things. You know,
That's right. That's all she cares about.
Yep. And I mean, I think you don't realize that you have more
My honest
supporters.
opinion, she's not a monster. Dee Dee was not a monster. She wasn't perfect. She was far from perfect, and she probably deserves to be in prison. If she were allowed to be alive, but that's where both of them, like Gypsy deserves to be in prison right now. She should not be out, but she's out and she's doing all this BS. And all we can do is spread awareness here. So the only monster in this story, in my opinion, is Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Than you do, because there's a lot of us that are figuring out, you know, what's happened here and the truth, and that, you know, Dee Dee, I don't think was this monster that Gypsy's made her out to be, and it's slowly but surely, and we're going to continue to bring this to the forefront, to people's attention, because we really believe, you know, that.
It was all fabricated made up.
Yeah, that she may. I mean, no, I'm not saying that she didn't, you know, linger and do her thing. And, you know, like her friend said, if the kids needed pizzas, she'd figure out a way to get them free pizzas or this or that. Yep. And I'm not saying she didn't scam organizations to make Gypsy happy. But I do believe that most of it was probably done with a good heart. And she was an overprotective mother. But I do believe that she was manipulated by Gypsy. And I think the abuse probably went the other way. And, you know, that Gypsy may have been obviously she thought she was going to pew her 10 times with a shotgun, and it happened to be a BB gun. You know, I mean, I just want you to know that I think your family has a lot more supporters than you realize, and that, you know, we're here if there's anything
we can do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I will definitely let them know. And as to Mom of Girls 041578, Claudia does have Dee Dee's ashes.
Yeah. That's good. So I'm glad, because to think that somebody had flushed them down the toilet was horrible.
Yeah, that was horrible, and it was the wrong thing for Dad to say. But, you know, it was like, well, I don't want him.
I'm surprised nobody came out and said, no, that's illegal. Like, I don't know, it didn't cross my mind.
You can just flush them if you want.
It's illegal with a body. You can't do anything. You can't even I don't think it's even legal to sprinkle the ashes anywhere. I don't know.
You know, he really didn't mean seriously flush them. I mean, that would be a felony charge in its own.
Right.
Because you can't dispose of ashes in that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say, as far as like with the family's participation and like, or not participating in certain stuff, is that because they don't want to be associated with Gypsy?
Yep. They don't want the limelight. They don't want to be associated with her. They love her. Claudia is actually Gypsy's godmother. And so, you know, she calls her Possum. That she does. That was her nickname for her. And she's like, I'm done. I'm done. I just, you know, she wants to send us these random texts, but, you know, she has not tried to come and talk to us, explain her side to us, nothing.
I can tell you something that happened. She like went out with some of the nieces or some of the girls that are like her cousins. And she got mad at them because she went out with them one night and it was great to reunite with the Petre family. And then they turned on her and went to the tabloids. Like, that's how she thinks of.
I really thought this was going to be a story, like a good story, but that's it. That's the story.
People like,
I feel like we should go, boom.
I wouldn't even try to reconcile with her at all. Like, I think the whole Petre family should just stay the hell away from her.
Exactly.
And sue her. Like, seriously, sue her. Someone needs to stop her and give her consequences. I told Chrissy they're going to sue you. And she said they're too stupid. Prove to Christy that you're not too stupid.
Right. I agree.
But I also understand wanting to let, what is his name, Claude? Have a peaceful, I mean, he's getting older, he's getting up there and living out the rest of his life. So I also
He's got millions of people feeling like he's a pedophile, though.
Yeah, she made him out to be a pedophile.
That's a good point there, because if anyone ever said I was one of those, I would come unfreaking glued and prove everything in my, like, no. And that would be probably one of the few things that I would sue somebody for, because no, I can't think of anybody. Would you tell a story like that?
It kind of brings it all up to, I understand that. I just understand that. I would
I would want to clear, if it were my daddy, I'd clear his name. And that way, when he left this earth, he knew that people didn't feel that way about him. I don't know if I could let my daddy leave this earth with the world thinking that he was a pedophile. You know what I mean? Like to put that on somebody, her mother, it's
my mom married a horrible, horrible man. And the reason what I'm dealing with, he once, I don't know, I'm not going to say it, but no, I just don't know how anybody, I don't know. I couldn't let anybody I loved have that be said about them. Am I just like over responsive to this type of thing, or what? Where are you guys at with this?
Her mother, it's her grandfather, it's her this. When is enough that she is not destroying somebody's life? He's an 86-year-old man, and she comes out and says something so horrific about her grandfather, who is the father of the mother that she murdered. You know, there's not to be enough.
But then also, it's not even just that; it's to tell your to claim your mother was a victim too, when her mother never made that claim while she was alive ever.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's horrible. I think I'd love to see, and not just to be ugly, but so somebody's got to stop her, or nobody's safe around her. You know what I mean? Ken's not safe. Christy and Rod aren't safe. Mia, I feel very strongly that Mia is not safe at all around her. I just have a bad feeling about Gypsy with her, but somebody has to stop this girl. She is
Do you think that Mia's unsafe around Gypsy? Do you think Gypsy is capable of doing this again? That's a question. She's out. Obviously, the parole board doesn't think so. Do you think Gypsy Rose is capable of doing this again? I mean, she did it once. Do you think she's bold enough to do it again? Do you think she can control herself and not do it again? Yes, I do. I'm convinced Gypsy's karma is coming. No, Gypsy is brain dead. Like, there is no brain in that head. Almost read shaved head. There is no brain.
Nightmare, and she's so destructive to everybody.
I mean, I think that's extremely abusive, shaving her head. Although I don't think the full shave didn't come till later, because I've spent the whole day looking at early photos of Dee Dee and Gypsy, and her hair, she kept it short, which, I mean, I'm resentful to this day to my mom for making me keep it short because she didn't want to brush it. But I mean, parents do that. And I think that shaving a girl's head like that is extremely, extremely abusive. I can't imagine the body dysmorphia that Gypsy must have. My BA is in xoxo, so at such a pivotal age, I could not imagine having a shaved head like that for a girl, especially.
Everybody that comes in contact with her. That's her grandfather. That's just my opinion. But you know, whatever you decide, obviously we support you all the way. That's just the way I feel about it. And I hate that he has to live on this earth his last years and have that hanging over him and your family. It's horrible.
Yeah, you know, they've made him start locking the door, because who's to say one of Gypsy's crazy supporters don't go try to hurt him?
Oh my God.
And I brought that up to Claudia. You need to make sure he's locking his door instead of sitting there in his chair taking a nap with the door wide open. Claudia's cousin lives next door, so she keeps an eye on him. You know, doesn't let anyone
Isn't
around. He
that
has a
a
dog.
shame that he has to change and do that because he is in fear, or y'all are in fear that honestly he could be in danger. That's super unsettling to think that this person has turned everybody's world upside down the way she has. I'm really sorry you're living through that.
Yeah, and you know, and I'm sure Katie can testify to this too. She turns everybody's world upside down that everyone comes in cross with. Her and Christy both. I mean, like I said, I've talked to Christy since day one, and it all started on a post. And I happened to say, hey, you know, maybe the missing daughter done it, you know, and took off with a boyfriend. And that's how I started talking to Claudia and Christy. And, you know, Christy just like, oh, that's lies, that's lies, that's lies. But, you know, it's like, okay, you know I don't believe you because, you know, I trust my own instinct on this. And then, you know, Claudia and I got really close. And, you know, like I said, it's almost a daily occurrence. I called her last night while you were on live and I'm like, hey, you need to get on and check this out. She goes, actually, I just got off there. I have to be at work at 4:45 in the morning. But yeah, she was watching.
Does Claudia ever see my stuff too?
That I don't know. I'll have to ask her, Kate.
Did she see my stuff?
I mean, it wouldn't, I'm just wondering, like,
I might think that in my head, but I don't ever have like the balls to ask people those type of things. Yeah, no, I don't. I wish I did. Sometimes I do, but I don't know. I'm pretty ballsy though.
I don't know. I just feel bad that like for the longest time I was sucked into it because they are so good at the con. And like you said, they suck you in.
Yes, they do.
And then they dismantle you and they make you like unable to think clearly. And Gypsy
will say this, that the aunt has that tone of voice that people get where they know what's up about a person, you know, they know she's got that kind of voice, that kind of tone. It's like kind of like a little overly nice tone.
One of the most destructive people I've ever been in contact with. And people are like, well, then why were you friends with her? I talked to her on the phone twice. I was friends with Christy. And for the most better part of our relationship, she was in prison and we were safe from her. It was when she got out that crap hit the fan.
Yeah. And, you know, it's still not safe over in that neighborhood. Actually, one of my employees lives just a few doors down from there. She can't even let her kids walk to the mailbox. Her little girl always wants to, I mean, she's 10, 11 years old now, but she wants to go to the mailbox to check the mail. She can't let her do it because the traffic through there is horrible. And the new owners, yes, it is a mother-daughter combo. The mother's disabled. The daughter takes care of her. Yes, I know the mother's name, but I don't feel that I should put it out there. But it would flip your wig if you heard it. But, you know, she literally had to go to the city and get permission to put.
Did you just hear what she said? There's a mother-daughter combo in the house and that it would flip your wig if you heard their names, but she doesn't feel like she should tell us. Does anyone know the details? What is the names? What are the names? What are the names? Is it like Gypsy and Rose? Is it Dee Dee and Rose? Is that what it is? Dee Dee and Rose? Probably Dee Dee and Rose, if I were to guess. If my lid was truly to be flipped, it would be like something like that.
Signs up, you know, just to keep people out there. There is now, if a car stops in front, she can just dial 911 and be like, there's wheels on my property, and they're there.
What? Gypsy's telling everyone she's going to buy that house.
No, that house was already sold. That house was taken through probate. Habitat took it back. They sued the estate, and the record's all online.
Yeah, I know.
And Habitat hit it. City Utilities hit it. So Habitat got the house back, and they resold it.
No, I know that, but Gypsy's literally telling people she's getting that house back.
No, she ain't getting that house back. She steps foot on that property, and she will be poo-pooed by the current owner. and the current owner is an elderly woman.
Wow.
And so literally sets out on her front porch.
Well, that elderly woman needs to be careful because Gypsy wants that house.
What is the connection with the house, if you don't mind me asking?
Even if the elderly woman has a pew pew and you drive by, what is she going to shoot at you? Is that what they're telling us? I mean,
why does she want it?
I don't know. She's just been obsessed with getting it. She thinks she's going to buy it. It's going to be her house. She's a sadist.
I mean,
nobody in Springfield, Missouri wants her.
That's quite likely. I mean, I just had to have a moment and think about this in the world we live in, maybe, and she might even get away with it.
Here.
Oh, this is the house that they lived in?
This is the house that she lived in, but I think of like what a sadist wants. They want their trophy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the house that her mother died in, the house.
Yes.
Oh, my
it's been
God.
totally remodeled. They even changed the address to it.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it's been heavily remodeled.
That floorboard.
Oh God.
And
why would she want that? That's so
I
disgusting.
mean, this is Katie Joy. I don't even know if I believe that she's trying to buy the house. Does anybody else? I hate to say it because I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say too much about her. Yeah.
Disgusting.
Because she's a sadist.
Yes, she
You can
is.
replay that over and over and over again. Think about it.
She is the most sadistic person I've ever met. She enjoys hurting people. And when I was saying,
And it's so strange to me, what if she's a sadist, why did you ever support her? I get not knowing and then knowing, like, because I supported her before I knew the story, but I mean, she knew the story and she willfully tried to get us to change our mind about the story. I just have resentment about that, I guess.
like, no one is safe around her, because if you're around her, she will accuse you of things.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like,
I believe
you know how I cut her off? She accused me of, I'm only talking about her because she blocked me. So now what the accusation is, I just want clout. I'm just doing this for attention. I'm building my channel off of her.
She does realize how big you were before her, right? I mean,
Well, she's bigger than me. You know, she's more important. So who am I? I'm just some peon.
That Gypsy wanted to live in the house with Dan and Nick. I might believe that Gypsy wants to have a relationship where it's more than one man in the relationship, and maybe she likes her men bisexual, and maybe she likes the poly lifestyle. I mean, here, as long as you're not hurting another person, I don't care what you do. I really don't. But I do care if you unalive someone. I mean, as long as nobody's being hurt, it's fine. I think Katie Joy goes on to talk about Gypsy with her dog ears and the dog leash that her and Ken use. I think this is in this.
Can I address Alicia Christopher real quick? So Rod and Christy actually came with a U-Haul and got what they wanted out of there for Gypsy. The rest of it was donated and thrown in the trash. Claudia got a picture and a moo-moo of DeeDee's. That's it.
oh wow. Wow. That's so sad.
That's so sad. Yeah.
I don't think Gypsy should have gotten anything out of that house. Nothing.
Why would Rod and Christy be on such a campaign to smear DeeDee like this? It just doesn't.
Because they knew the con the whole time.
Yep.
They knew the whole time Gypsy could walk and she wasn't sick.
And if
Well, she was. She has a microdeletion, and
she does have a but she wasn't sick with cancer and multiple sclerosis and that. And they knew that. Yes, she does have the microdeletion. That she does.
And her surgeries were needed.
Yes, they were very much needed.
But not all the major things that they were claiming. So Gypsy was a part of this. So Gypsy did know this was a con. She was doing this with Dee.
Are DeeDee and Mia the only one who inherited the microcephaly? Well, we don't know because we do know. Well, Rod won't be tested, and it's not on DeeDee's side. So the people who have it is Gypsy, and it's visible in Mia. And I have heard people say Dylan has it. In the pictures that we saw of Nicolette, it doesn't look like she has it. But Rod won't get tested, so that I don't know. And I don't think his other kids have been tested. They don't believe that they have it, which I know that they have it. I just think that because of the scrutiny around it being caused from incest, and it's not always caused by that, but I think like it's backwoods. They would call, they're from the bayou. They don't want that kind of stuff. They don't want that kind of attention. They don't want to be known for that, I'm sure. And I'm sure they would think it was because of that.
DeeDee then.
Most definite.
Yeah. There you have it.
Because Dee Dee was promising her, like, if you sit here for this appointment, we'll get a free something.
Yeah, we'll go to Disney World. We'll, get this. We'll get that. And if you go back and you look at the pictures in January before Dee Dee passed away, Dee Dee, you could tell she was very sick. She looked sick. Her skin color.
My thoughts. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy that you caught us. I'm sorry, my thoughts will offend you. Oh, I think that all the time. My thoughts are going to offend you. Thank you. And I'm so happy you're here with us.
You could see it in her eyes in the pictures. She was sick.
You know what she had? She was on heart medication. She looked like she was in like congestive heart failure with how bloated she was.
Yes. Yeah. That and gout and diabetes. And I mean,
that's probably exactly why he doesn't want to get tested. And back in the day, families thought that, keeping it in the family kept the blood in the family, and they don't know what they know now. And we all think that people are at the same level as like we are at this moment in time. And we weren't even at the same level, like say in the 90s. The 90s was a different time period where everybody thought, like, people were still heavily cracking jokes about sexuality, and it was okay. And racial stuff, there was still blackface. Like it was a mess. So people think that we're always where we are, and they don't take into account where they were, where people were generational. So yeah, maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe my ancestors mated together, but I just really think that maybe they didn't. But he's not getting the testing, so maybe we'll never know.
It was just all horrible.
Yeah, she was in bad shape. You could tell.
And let me tell you what, if one of my kids ever, see, I'm a mom of 3 girls. I'll be 50 this year. My oldest is 32. I had her when I was 17. My middle one's 25. I adopted her when she was 9.5. And my baby, guys, my baby is 4 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I adopted her. But my middle one, she's a special needs child. And let me tell you what, herself,
because
she started listening. She's like,
has swung sharply in Dee Dee's favor because Gypsy Rose lied heavily about her story. So for whatever reason, it has swung right into Dee Dee's lap. But Dee Dee wasn't a saint. Half the time, she probably wasn't even a good person because she was frauding huge corporations that donate things to children that are dying. She was doing horrible things, but she didn't deserve to die. And over here, you're allowed to have different varying opinions. It's welcome, as long as you are respectful and what's normal, you're being respectful. And so you are welcome to have your opinion about Dee Dee being a monster. I just don't think she was a monster. Not like monster like Dee Dee or Gypsy's a monster. Dee Dee was a criminal. And a pretty horrible mother, too, in my opinion. Pretty good mother, too, in other ways. But not a mother that deserved to be unalived.
like, Mom, nah, that girl's lying. You can tell by the way she's acting. I'm like, okay, for someone who, they wanted to diagnose her when she was younger with what used to be called MR, but now it's ID. It's been ID for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But no, I sit back and I look at her and I'm like, okay, so no. Yeah, I went to school for psychology and sociology and criminal justice and yada, yada, yada. No. They diagnosed her wrong. I said, no.
Are you trying to tell me that she was your mom? Is that what you're saying? Yes or no? Was she your mom?
No, I told the doctor, I said, y'all need to relook at things because she's hitting on the scale of the DSM-5 for very high functioning autism. I mean, I've put this girl through college. She's graduated college twice with straight A's. She just can't retain it. This girl has autism. You need to recheck her, but they're not worried about it now with her being 25.
So just for like people in the chat, ID is intellectual disability.
Yes.
And an individual with an intellectual disability gets that diagnosis when their IQ is below 60.
Yes.
You can still have cognitive disabilities between 60 and 80.
Yep.
And then Nick is on the cutoff where he's in the gray zone.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Wow. Because 80 is considered average.
Yes. And Ivory, I did send you a message because I kind of snuck in somebody's live earlier and I heard what they were saying. And so I sent you a message and told you what was being said.
Thank you. I will check it.
Was it Bree? Was it Bro?
Yeah, her live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I understand why people call her Bro. It's because when you try to write her name, it autocorrects to Bro instead of Bree. Like,
well, every time sounds like a bro.
So they've been sneaking up in on your lives a lot.
I'm sure they are, and that's okay. Let them watch.
Yep. Cece, that was one that I noticed because I'm like, oh, Cece, you know, that's one of my nephews' stepmom's name that the grandbabies call her. And so I was looking to see if it was her, and I'm like, no, that's not her. But yeah, they've been sneaking up in your lives and reporting back to her.
That's okay. Let them report. Get all
I
the
hope that
information.
I hope Christy and Rod are just like sweating and like, I hope they're like get everything that they reap what they sow. Like they didn't care about Gypsy for their entire lives. They didn't give a shit.
I don't hope that for Rod and Christy and the Blanchard family. They didn't commit unaliving. So no,
about her at all. They never wanted to be in her life. They literally, Rod sits there and lies on these documentaries and said, I always pay child support. Why did Dee Dee have to take out charges against you twice? Why were you sentenced to 10 days in jail? Why is it that you were...
Gotcha. I get it. You're just kind of like trying to understand it all and throwing out what's true, basically.
In 95 brought out on contempt, and then the prosecutor in your county in 99 brought charges against you, criminal charges for non-support. But you were always paying support for your daughter.
Yeah, that's what he said. To the point.
So tired that, I mean, is the money worth it? I don't know. Is all this? I had to think today. Like, I don't know if you said, I'll give you $3 million, but you have to go through this intense scrutiny day in, day out, and it doesn't matter what you do, right or wrong, people are not going to be happy with it. And I don't think I would take it. I don't think I would take it. I don't know, though. I don't like being in this situation where I have to worry about my bills every month, but I don't know. Would you guys take $3 million for all what they're going through?
Of sometimes not even having enough money for growth.
I don't know how long it's going to last because we're 7 months into it and it's not letting up. And I don't think it's going to all of a sudden fizzle out because she's pregnant. Because, I mean, yeah, no, I don't see it fizzling out.
Trees were his exact words the other night.
And yet, it looks like Claudine, Dee Dee, had to come up with very crafty ways to provide for her daughter because...
I feel like I can make my own money a better way. Money can be made in a kind, decent way, and I'll just do it my way. I don't want it that way.
Her ex-husband was too busy.
Yeah.
Yep. And he wasn't even like successful back then. Like,
yeah.
Dee Dee wasn't lying. He was using drugs and he was drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Dave's back. We love you, Mr. Dave.
Look at those numbers.
Everybody's been so good at Mr. Dave tonight.
Yes, they were very good. And I just want to thank everybody for that.
Yeah, that was great. This group was great. But again, if there's anything we can do for you guys, anything at all, don't hesitate to ask. And please come back. I appreciate you coming to talk.
Many people do get hooked on the money fast, don't they? They like it. They like the money and will do whatever they can to keep the money.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's anything I can do and put out on my channel, anything for the family. Like I sent Claudia a message on Facebook. It might be in her message.
Okay, so I will put the link for that live and you guys can go and watch it. Let's keep going. Let's see. All right. So, but before we move on, I wanted to show you part 2 of the Dee Dee video in her younger years. This was just an introspective into Dee Dee and in her younger years. And then this video, this live popped up with Dee Dee's sister, or was it, let me think. Yeah, Dee Dee's sister did over on TikTok, and I thought we would look at it.
As the wind comes to play, I shall hang from the trees by the feet of a crow, and I will blow a kiss to you. I will blow a kiss to you, and I will whisper to the moon and to the stars and the clouds, and you'll know that the moon can't forgive, and the stars, they just know, and the clouds melt away like the snow, like the snow.
Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about that taxi cab ride and the brownies. So, does everyone remember the brownie video? If you don't, I have it right here. We'll just freshen up your memory. So this was at the Days Inn in Springfield.
Hi, honey. I'm feeling it. He's eating a brownie. But later he will be eating me. I loved Nick very much at that time. And
okay, so if once wasn't enough, let's do it again.
Hi, honey. I'm feeling it. He's eating a brownie.
But later he will be eating me.
What was she saying? Was she saying titty bound? What was this part? This is a part that I never understand what she
But
said.
later he will titty bound.
What was she saying? Chichi bow wow. What is it like? Is it like the porno when they go bum bum bum? What is it? I can't do it now because I got the chichi bow in my. What is it when they go bum bum? I can't do it now. It's not. I can't get it back in my head. You know the porno sound, the song. Bum bum bum. I can't do it. But is that what she's trying to say? What the heck is she trying to say here? Anyway, so this was the video that sent me down this rabbit hole that we're down. Welcome to it. I'm sorry. I'm bringing you down this hole with me, but here we go. Gosh, that sounded doubly, triply naughty. Hole. Okay. Anyway, Amy, move on. So I have heard people say a lot in looking at the crime scene photos that these actually weren't domino brownies. I've heard them been referred to as domino brownies sometimes. And now people are saying that she made the brownies because they saw this in the crime scene photo. I saw someone comment on the Facebook group that Gypsy made the brownies they were eating in the hotel, which is why there were traces of blood in the kitchen. This might have been super obvious to everyone else, but I've never heard it mentioned before this. I've always thought it was strange that they had an entire tray of brownies in the hotel room and wondered where it came from. Have you guys heard this? Anyone else hear this? And then this person has a photo, and it does look like it's in the box. So this looks like it's Domino's. Do you see the box? Oops. Right here. Can you guys see it? Well, it's not even any bigger. But for me, it got bigger. Let me go over in StreamYard. Things don't get bigger, they get smaller unless I'm on the page. So I don't know. Hopefully it got bigger for you. And so I also, in the last live, we saw video of the taxi cab driver talking about how long it took to wait for Gypsy Rose. Nick came out and got in the car, and they had to wait quite a long time for Gypsy Rose. And so there is some news sources. Oops, shoot. I hate these things. So annoying. So annoying that I can't just do it for free. Okay. This is the taxi cab driver. One of them. Gypsy's cabbies recall unremarkable fare, but in hindsight, this is him.
How we make stickers at Sticker app. First, we fix image file. Then, printer prints very large printer.
I get there, do my normal stuff, pick up the clipboard, start writing, the address down where I'm at. I look up, just kind of glance up, see a girl and a guy walking to the cab, because everybody asked me if she was in a wheelchair. No, she walked to the cab. She's wearing like a black skirt, I think it was, white shirt with stripes, possibly wearing a wig, because I would have known if she'd, the mug shots, if she'd had a shaved head.
Yeah.
And it's like an 80s style, kind of like an 80s style beehive hair, you know what I mean? Wig.
Oh my
Something like you'd see on your mom, But he was wearing blue jeans, and it was either a white tank top or a white t-shirt. Said I got to call about, what was it, 5:48. I had him in the cab. I told him about 7 or 8 minutes. They got in the cab. I said, where y'all going? They tell me to take them to the DeeDee's in there on North Kentwood, right there, 44 in Glenstone, pretty much behind the Waffle House.
Okay.
And that's about it. We got there, and she paid, she's the one who had the money. She paid with the $20 bill.
Mm-hmm.
It was about a $10 cab fare,
So not a lot, just very unremarkable, but it's pretty remarkable to think that you had 2 murderers in the back seat of your cab. And this one, he is talking about
The latest now on the couple arrested in Big Bend for a murder in Missouri. Tonight we are hearing from a cab driver who picked the 2 up just after police say they stabbed Dee Dee Blanchard to death. Our Jenna Sachs joins us in the newsroom now with new details. Good evening, Jenna.
Good evening. Gypsy Blanchard and her boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, were arrested in Waukesha County on Sunday, but authorities believe they killed Gypsy's mother on Wednesday, and that's where John Horn comes into the picture. Horn's cab was called out to Blanchard's home just after 6 a.m. on Wednesday. He says the couple was acting normal, though Gypsy may have been wearing a wig. Now police say friends and family believe Gypsy Blanchard was sick and needed to use a wheelchair to get around, but the cab driver says she was walking just fine. Authorities now believe the woman and her mother may have been involved in a financial fraud scheme.
He didn't really talk much. They was talking in the back seat, but they was kind of, I had my radio on, the two-way on. They was kind of talking under the breath, which I don't really try to pay attention, what people saying, because I had no idea what they had, what they'd done.
Would you try to pay attention to what people are saying?
Horn took the couple to a
I had my radio on, the two-way on. They was
walking just fine. Authorities now believe the woman and her mother may have been involved in a financial
that you
fraud
would try
scheme.
to pay attention?
He didn't really talk much. They was talking in the back seat, but they was kind of, I had my radio on, the two-way on. They was kind of talking under the breath, which I don't really try to pay attention, what people saying, because I had no idea what they had, what they'd done.
Horn took the couple to a DeeDee's Inn. They gave him a $10 tip. Now, of course, they're in the Waukesha County Jail.
He would have no reason to listen other than being nosy. That would be my only reason to listen. I thought it would be fun to watch Little Anxious Aunt, because they had some with the taxi cab driver and some real Gypsy Rose Blanchard footage of this was when they last did their last Make-A-Wish, and I believe they had to rush Dee Dee to the hospital, and Gypsy was in the hotel by herself, but this was before she was rushed to the hospital. So this wasn't too long afterwards. Dee Dee was unalived.
Do you know this girl?
If you don't know Anxious Aunt, they're a really funny channel. They're cousins in Australia, and they cover the case quite a bit. They're really funny, and I like them a lot.
Marzi and I have been watching more Gypsy Rose stuff like we do. We're so fascinated with the whole case. And we know it's not Rachel. We definitely know it's not Rachel, but we don't know who this girl is. Now, there's a reason why, not just because we want to know.
Okay, so that's Amelia Bird. Actually, this isn't older. This was one of the first videos I ever saw and commented on.
Moving on, we have some YouTube clips we want to discuss with you and get your thoughts. There's a small snippet they've put up on Nightline now. Gypsy's saying how her mother's always around, so she had to keep pretending to be in the wheelchair and that she couldn't move her legs. But it's funny that there's this CCTV footage of her and her mum in the hospital, and Gypsy happens to have her little legs crossed up on the seat. I didn't know that someone that has, paralyzed legs could cross their legs up on the seat. I mean,
couldn't believe that.
And the mother didn't seem to mind that she was doing it.
Yeah, and no one's picked up on this. No one's picked up on this. And we're sitting there going, hey, well, she's just mosing on down, getting a little self a snack with her legs crossed in a wheelchair.
Down
yeah.
chair.
That's,
You know, if I was
like saying,
I've seen people that's legs aren't functional. I've seen them have their legs crossed. I feel like I have. I don't know.
Can't have your legs up on the chair. You're supposed to be paralyzed.
yeah, I'll be saying, put your legs down, you know, act like you're a victim. Act like you're a victim.
They seem to be happy getting snacks at the vending machine.
Exactly. So we just thought that was off as well, completely off.
Now, we also saw this little interview with Christy, her stepmother, on News Nation, and straight off the bat, she says apparently Gypsy didn't know how to use a phone properly when she got out of prison.
Oh my God. The phone wasn't just created in the last 10 years.
Like, somebody keeps calling my phone and I don't know who it is. I'm like, why are you going to store it? You're like, I don't know how. So I stored a couple of numbers for her.
She telepath Nick.
Oh, definitely. Telepathic.
Like, how did she text Nick if she didn't know how to use a phone?
Well, the thing is, though, we all had phones 10 years ago.
Yeah.
She was in prison for 10 years. Well, 8 years.
Apparently she can't put a number in, but she can do TikToks.
I know. And go on Christian Mingle and dating sites, you know what I mean? And be on the computer. She can do everything.
Yeah.
Gypsy isn't a person that can't do anything. She's not incapable. She's a very capable woman.
Okay,
to
so
boss her
here
around
is-
and use her big girl voice. More or less, she said.
Here's one of the female taxi cab drivers talking about picking up Gypsy and Nick.
That, you know what I mean?
She had a very odd looking wig on and had a 40-year-old attitude. And she was not afraid to tell me off.
You know, she's not what she appears to be. She doesn't just sit there and she's meek and she's quiet. She's off there gallivanting, you know, with different men, you know, telling taxi cab drivers off, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you are a meek, quiet kind of person, and that's the portrayal that you're trying to show, you're not going to go up to a stranger and then start bossing them around.
No.
You just want to do it. So for her to be able to do this to someone who she doesn't know.
She can do it to Dee Dee.
Yeah.
She can do it to Dee Dee.
I reckon she wasn't as meek as she played it out to be at home. No way.
No, I reckon she told Dee Dee what to do. She
Yeah, I
gave
reckon
Dee
there
Dee a
was
half
more.
and two.
Yeah,
I
I
tell
reckon
you
she had
now.
a lot more control than what she's let on.
100%. You know, it's starting to paint a picture that this Gypsy Rose girl isn't the sweet little innocent girl that's been taken advantage of. You know, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like she ruled the roost at home.
Yeah.
I really believe that she ruled the roost. I don't think it was the way that she portrayed it at all.
She was not afraid to tell me off.
That's so rude. That's so rude. This is not a girl that was sheltered, you know, couldn't use a big girl voice.
Yeah.
This is a girl who knew exactly what she's doing and she wanted her own way and she knew how to get it.
Yeah.
She knew how to get it, guys. Don't you feel that much?
So many people did believe that towards the end, Gypsy knew exactly what was going down. We are going to look at some of the surveillance footage, but before we do that, make sure that check and see if you're subscribed, and if you're not, then you need to subscribe to Parawomenradio because I would love to have you. We're a lot of fun over here. All opinions are welcome as long as they're given kindly and with respect to others. And yeah, we like to just have conversations, and you don't have to agree with me. You can go to any other creator's page. My shtick is that I don't want you to go to Gypsy Rose's page. I don't want you to feed the Gypsy Rose Blanchard machine. I would rather you feed your favorite creator's machine. Somebody who is giving thoughtful, humorous, insightful, whatever it is, content. Feed them. That's my thing. But make sure that you're subscribed. It's a free way to help my channel out. And if you don't like me, it's easy. You just click the unsubscribe button. It's like the fastest and easiest thing to say bye-bye that you could possibly do. But I hope you're not going to do that to me. All right, guys. So before we do this final watching the footage, I saw this on Reddit and I thought this would be interesting to look at. Let's talk about the contents of Gypsy's backpack when she was arrested. She could have taken anything. So what did she take and why? What do you guys think, without like cheating and reading what's up there on the screen? What do you think Gypsy Rose decided to take with her? What did she stuff in her bag and say, I will need this for later? And we know now she didn't make the brownies and bring them with her. She didn't stuff any flour or any brownie pans in her backpack. So what do you think was in there? What do you guys think? Who's going to lose their job? Shoes. I like you too, but I don't think you're talking to me, but you're probably talking to Heavenly or Christy. They're very likable and they make me look really good. And I'm really grateful for them. Oh, did someone get the xoxo? I actually probably should put a warning in the beginning that you get xoxo'd here. It's just a joke. If you get xoxo'd, you're not doing anything. I don't know. It's something I can't figure it out. So I guess the joke's on me. I don't know who the joke is on, but let's look and see what she put in her bag. What did she bring with her to start her new life with Nick? There are a few things that stand out, like the True Blood video box set. It makes me question if she put the notion in Nick's head about Victor, the 500-year-old vampire. I have no doubt that Nick had mental health issues for which he was medicated for, but I wonder if she didn't help. Was he medicated? For which he was Nick medicated? I didn't know he was medicated. But I wonder if she didn't help push the idea. She supposedly created all her different personalities to play with Nick's, and I don't believe that for a minute. I think she was playing far more than Star Wars in her play shed. Well, we know she was doing Anastasia, of 20 Shades of whatever. I can't even think of what the name of it is. 50 Shades of Grey. Is that what it is? 20 Shades of Grey. 1 shade of gray. 1 million shades of gray. I'm sure maybe this is where Gypsy got the idea for all this BDSM. I don't know. She was very heavily influenced by the media because her mom forced her to. That was when it wasn't her mom. It was, the TV or a movie or whatever. Those were her friends. But hate to tell her, Gen X, that was our babysitter too. And we were forced to go outside. We didn't even have a shed to play in. We were supposed to come in when the street lights came on, and we were taught to manage our own emotions. And if we didn't, we got slapped or told to go into our rooms. It was a rough time back then. I think she was playing far more than Star Wars in her play shed before and while she was dating Nick, continued in the comments. Correct me if this is wrong, but for what I remember from Nick's interrogation, she packed Game of Thrones DVDs to watch along with True Blood. She was not as sheltered as some people believe, watching only Disney movies, and they only believe it because she wants them to believe it, and media exaggerated it out of proportion. Also, didn't her text say she smashed or trashed her laptop days before the murder? So she did not bring her laptop nor her meds that she was taking because she didn't know she wasn't sick, correct? If I'm going on a trip, even for a night, I remember to pack essential medication. I'm sure she brought the pain meds. Or maybe not, because I think they had to take her she wanted to go to the hospital or something for those. You'd think that would be a priority over Game of Thrones and True Blood DVDs for someone who was a sick kid their whole life. Sick enough to get perks, but not actually sick to take a long medication, huh? A TikToker described her as a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I don't think there's ever been a more accurate description of her and this case. Many people who still sympathize with her or give her the benefit of the doubt don't realize they're falling for it. So she made sure to bring her DVDs with her, her True Blood and her Game of Thrones, which both highly, highly sexual shows. I mean, I felt like I was watching a Cinemax after, was it Cinemax After Dark or something like that? Like some soft porn over on Game of Thrones and True Blood. So she had a bus pass in there. If you're a believer, her mom was so controlling. How did she steal and mail the knife to Nick? Sorry. So these were some of the things. I thought there was a list of it, but I don't see a list. But these were some of the things that she had in her backpack. Okay. Now let's look at some Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Nicholas Godejohn surveillance footage. This is hotel video and bus station and taxi. And this is from the good people over at Crime for Dummies. Okay, so here we have her leaving the Days Inn with Nick. You think she framed him?
Oh, okay. Could I put you on hold just a second, please? Thank you. Okay. And the name on the room? The name is Nicholas Godejohn. Okay. All right. And you have a cash deposit, so if I could see your ID, please. Good morning. Thank you for calling Days Inn and Suites. Will you please hold? Thank you. All right. So, 227, 69. Okay, so you did an early
Interesting she had
check-in.
Nick
Okay.
go.
Looks like
Maybe because he checked in. No, they wouldn't have checked in before.
Okay, paid that. And paid
No,
for
he
the
did check
room.
in before.
All right, so yeah, it's just returning the deposit. I don't know why he has this note, so. Okay.
Did Nick check in before?
All right, let's see. It's much shorter hair. All right.
He hasn't.
Let's see. If I could get you to sign here. I don't know why he didn't have you sign that. And then
It was reported today by Katie Joy that she was on house arrest, but it was also reported that she wasn't allowed to go live, and she went live. So who knows if she's on house arrest?
Yeah, I have to check your room.
What do you say? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything. All right, somebody's going to go check it. You can just have it.
Katie Joy is Katie Joy Paulson, and she runs a channel called Without a Crystal Ball. And she was friends with, it's a long story, but supposedly she was friends with the Blanchards for a while. There was some sort of falling out, but Katie Joy says it was that she just woke up to the story when, yeah. So that's who Katie Joy is.
Too long. All right, thank you for holding. So, what was
she was somebody that was in with the Blanchards and is no longer.
And so you'll be able to check in whenever you arrive. So you have some special instructions.
Okay. What time?
Yeah, of course.
Can you come now?
You guys are all answering it so much easier.
At the front desk. Tomorrow, I don't know. So, and I'll put a note saying about it.
Gentwood Avenue.
That's fine. All right. So, and what is your mother's name? Chris. Okay. With two N's.
I cannot get that.
Chris.
I'm trying to get the porno sound in my head.
Okay, I have saved that to your reservation, so they should have no problem checking in. And I will get these emailed out now that we have the correct email address. All right. Okay. There is, because you said 4 in one room and 3 in the other.
This is it right here. Bum, bum, bow, wow. Bum, bum, bow, wow. That's it. Gosh, it was driving me crazy.
It does increase the rate by $5 just because of the extra adult for the one room.
Okay, so she's having Nick sit
we
down
offer
and
a
wait.
breakfast that is included in the room rate. So anytime if anyone stays in those rooms and it's over 3 people, there is a $5. Oh, okay. All right. Oh yeah, she does that sometimes. So so you're not the first. All right, I'm sending these confirmations emails to you right now, and so if you do not receive them within, let's say, half an hour.
It does
or so,
irritate me when
we'll try it again. Okay, but
I am physically at the location and they take a phone call over me. That bothers me because it makes me just want to go outside and call them and be like, hey, can you help me first?
should receive it now that we have the correct. It'll be tomorrow morning. Yeah. Correct. All right, sir, you can go ahead and sign for this. So I was given the go-ahead to return the deposit. So. And then just all right, here we go. Just go ahead and sign on that line. It's a $50 bill, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for staying with us. Oh, it's just checkout is 11 a.m.
Yeah, I
so.
know that now.
But no, it's fine. I mean, I didn't work in the hotel business
Looks
before
like
I
she
started
had
working
him
here, and I had no
already
idea.
too. Okay, so this is the bus station arrival. Don't think there's any sound with this one because it's the station. But here we have a strange man walking through the door. Wouldn't it be something to be like, hey, that was me. I walked in just before 2 murderers. But we can see him through here getting out of the taxi cab, getting their stuff, and Nick went by the door. Is there a different door that I don't know about? Oh, they must have just gotten it from that camera. And the clothes, what is she wearing? What is she wearing here? Is this on purpose, this outfit? Or do you think this is from growing up and not really being allowed to dress as an adult? Or is this just her trying to want to fit in, like blend in? What do you guys think? Yes. This is Well, right here. I guess she's on Nick's left. This is her right here. And this is Nick. And this is the person helping. It looks like she's got her pants even tucked into something. I don't know. But I can see what the guy was talking about, the bouffant wig. It's very bouffanty right here. Bouffanty. Gypsy bouffanty. Seems perfectly fine. Some say that Gypsy was planning on leaving Nick at this point. Like, she wasn't going to get on the bus. She was planning her exit. Gypsy Bunty, Buffanti sounds just about right. It's the same clothes from the interrogation. Oh. Well, then she did have the weird, like, fake Ugg boots on with, like, grandmother kind of clothes. The grandmother died on the same day as Dee Dee with 8 years apart, I believe. Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard that too. And then somebody said, wow. So maybe it happened like within a few hours. I don't know. But I guess it would be easy to check because we know that Claudine was born on May 3rd, 1967. And she was found stabbed in her home on June 2015. What does, like, Wikipedia not have date? Oh, yeah. June 10th, 2015. Is that when they've listed her murder? The body was discovered. Oh, the body was, okay, June 10th, 2015. And then the body was discovered on June 15th, 2015. I didn't know it was a full 5 days. I thought it was only 3 days. Wow. Here's the departure by taxi cab. Is this? I think this is the same one. Oh, this is the departure when they're leaving. There they are out there. It looks like the same train station. Doesn't it? How are they getting in? All right. How are they getting in a cab? No, they're getting out of the cab. Are they getting in the cab? All right, you guys, help me out. Is this not the same train station? Oh, yes. See, okay. That's why the person probably said, well, because they said June 9th. Yeah. They are high on brownies and pain pills.
Because I called asking if I could get a credit card number for the company because the men said, we've already paid for the room. Hello.
Let you have another room.
Another room or? Okay.
Oh,
Not
that's
another night?
right. They had to leave because something about the tickets. That's right. And then they went back to the hotel and had to get the room again. And she sent Nick back in.
Okay.
Okay. We need to tell you about years. I haven't done it lately at all.
Yeah, I just called to ask them for their number, and she said, no, you're set up to do direct bill. Your manager will know about it.
No, we don't. We haven't done it in years, so we need all information. Okay.
What room are you in?
That was in room 276.
I wish I had some edibles.
Did you leave the root beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, it was when we were so busy. And okay, so you'd like to? Let me see. Sorry, just missed lunch.
Fancy.
And your name?
My name is
Fancy Morelli.
Oh, okay.
Or wait, what's her name? I can't remember. Is it Fancy? Yeah, Fancy's Fancy Morelli.
Okay. And it's just one night?
Yep.
Okay. And just one adult? No
Yep.
children?
Yep.
Non-smoking king?
Yep.
Okay. And what room did you say you had been in?
I was in 227.
227. Okay.
Oh, did they get a non-smoking room? Who? Okay, did she just say non-smoking and he said, yeah, I'm gonna pop it back? Because why were all those cigarettes outside their yard, their lawn?
Children? Non-smoking king? Okay. And what room did you say you had been in?
I was in 227.
227. Okay.
Non-smoking king.
Arlene? That's fine. We got information on the computer on their good things.
Okay. All right. Do you have a preference for what floor you want to be on?
I guess maybe the same room. I mean,
What room? Sorry.
227.
Do you want that room again?
Yeah.
I don't know if housekeeping. Oh, yeah. What about 226? It's right next to it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So you liked that room. And hopefully this room will be good for you too. All right. So your total is going to be $68.10. Here's your ID back. That was 100.
They moved him to
Right. So I happen to have a dime with you.
Oh, no, actually.
from the brownie eating room.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Hey, check that out. It just gives you dollars back.
Yeah.
All right, your change is $32 even. So we have 20, 31, 32. And then the deposit, a $50 deposit.
I didn't even watch it. I stopped watching it after one episode. I was like, nope, not for me.
Hi, Bobby. This is Bobby.
Just hand it right back to me, huh? The same one I gave you earlier, but all right. This is all right. Any pets with you?
Nope.
Go ahead
Yeah,
and
Dee Dee belongs to be in prison. If she were alive, I would be screaming for her to be in prison.
And you go ahead and sign. You already paid, but
And probably Gypsy, knowing that she's 24 when it was all happening. At least for a
oh,
while.
then go ahead and just put NA.
Probably like for 8 years, 10 years would be a good amount. If all Gypsy was doing was the fraud.
All right, here are your keys. You will be right
next
to the room that you have been in before. So overlooking out over the parking lot. You know, breakfast is served on the same floor, 8:30 to 9:30, and the pool and the fitness room are open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Don't forget your soda. Enjoy.
Thank you.
She said she was in prison, and there's been lots of allegations being thrown around of Suboxone use by both Ken, Ryan, her. pill use by Christy, but it's all speculation. We don't know any of these things. Yeah, the mother did what the mother did was horrible. I'm sorry, it's horrible. If you were a girl, you would not want your hair shaved like that. You wouldn't agree to it. But I can't remember at what age the shaving really happened. Like, when did the actual shaving start? We know that it was cut short. And it was probably cut short because we saw pictures of Rod visiting, and he said she was like 8 or 9 and the hair was short. Like, when did the shaving start? After Katrina. So she could have been in on it because she was quite old after Katrina. She was like 16 or 17, right? I know in that famous picture.
If you're in room,
sorry, I want to turn this down.
in room 326.
In that famous picture of her where you can really see the microcephaly and that she will strike a channel for. I think she was, because she was 16 or 17 in that photo, and that was the Katrina photo. So if that's when the shaving started, I don't know. I don't know. So they're back at the bus station. They're back at the bus station. We're back. Must have been a lot of money in taxi. This was just before Uber and Lyft, wasn't it? Like just before or right as it was starting to happen. How nice it is just to be able to call an Uber or a Lyft instead of a taxi cab now. Dee Dee shaved her head too. Oh. When they were in the Superdome. I remember before Katrina going by the Superdome. It's so crazy that I saw it pre-Katrina. Yes, it was always short, but I think they really started shaving it after Katrina. So she would have been 16, 17 if it was after Katrina. So she might, oh man, that makes me even angrier. Gosh, that makes me mad. You guys, this story, it makes me so angry that she might have been in on, oh, did it get you again? It was supposed, I don't know. I think I read it was some Halloween thing, and I'm sure I probably did it, signed up for it. Look at them. They are a high ASF walking in there. Okay, I gotta look. Hold on. I gotta get close. I'm gonna go back a little bit, you guys. Oh. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it so you guys can see it better too. I'm going to put myself down in the corner, and that way it'll be bigger for you to see too. This is 7:26 p.m. This is them right there. Has anyone ever rode a bus before? I've done it a few times. She's a severe leaner. Oh yeah, she's kind of going back and forth, isn't she? Nick looked really high in the brownie video to me. It's been like 15 years since I've rode a bus, 15, 20 years. Those lines, ugh. And the smells. The smells. This guy looks more agitated than the two schmurderers up front. The two schmurderers are completely calm. Just a little swaying like some trees, but other than that. This was also before it was very common for people to walk around in cosplay wigs outside, white women to walk around in cosplay wigs and not have them glued down or anything. So I think it would have been weird to see her in a bouffant wig, not glued down or styled in any way. Pain pills. No, it's not always cheaper by bus. And I prefer train, by the way. I'm 47 and spoiled, I suppose, because I've never been on a bus. Oh, well, I rode it a few times just because we weren't going to get any kind of vehicle in the city we were going in. So it was just easier to ride the bus and not have to worry about a vehicle. And then the first time I rode it because I wanted to, because I thought it'd be fun. It's not fun. And then the train I rode because of the same reason. I didn't want to have a vehicle where I was going. Nick felt all kinds of remorse, was crying, and Gyp used sex to cheer him up, right? Ugh. Never been in a bus, Uber, or taxi. Oh, well. Girl, you need to get into some planes, trains, and automobiles. A glamour shot resurgence. The voice would have been enough for me. Nick felt, oh yeah, I already read that. I already read it. I was taking the bus and the train for years because I do have a severe fear of flying, though I did overcome it this year for my daughter's sake so we could take her to Disney World. Oh, you did overcome it? You know what? Xanax does wonders for me when I fly. I just go to the doctor and I'm like, I'm about to fly and I need something. I wonder what they're, although not everybody can take medications like that. And so I understand, but that's a situation that you maybe can do. I wonder what their transportation to Disney was. It's probably first class all the way. Chauffeurs and maybe a motorcade, a gypsycade. I rode a train from Washington to XO, Carolina. Didn't like it. Yeah. You didn't like the train? I prefer the train over the bus. I rode a train from I think Pennsylvania. I don't know. To Michigan. I don't know. I can't remember. And I rode some trains in California too. If Gypsy couldn't stand her mom being schmurdered to the point where she couldn't do it herself, why didn't she go on the back porch instead of the very next room? Because I don't really think she went into that room. I think she did a little bit more than what she says she did. I don't believe that she was in the bathroom with her hand over her ears. I mean, that's just, come on now. So they're inching ever closer to the glass door. I wonder if she was even wondering if her mom was found now. Gosh, I can't even imagine unaliving someone on accident, let alone on purpose. I went to the summer camp a few times, and one of the counselors, I went home on the weekend with her because she lived close to us, close to the camp. And we were going around this curve. And she just turns to me very calmly and says, this is where I hit the mailman. And I was like, what? You hit the mailman? And she's like, yeah. I was like, well, what happened? And she's like, I unalived him. And I was like, oh my gosh. I said, well, what happened? And she said, well, I was found not guilty. And I was like, what do you say to something like that? I was shocked. I was shocked that we were driving, and I thought, how ironic. I'm going around a curve where someone else murdered somebody. That's my life right there. My cousin accidentally ran over a guy on a motorcycle. He had just left the grocery store with his family, and the motorcyclist was speeding and failed to stop. Well, another story I have about a motorcyclist is that I'm an ex-social worker, and so one of my office mates, before the job I had, pulled out and ran into my new office mate's fiance on his motorcycle, and she unalived him. I remember that day. I remember Betty being in the house, not in the hospital, in the office, just like sobbing because that's when she found out. And it was just horrible. And then I found out it was someone I knew, someone I shared an office with. I was like, oh, but that's my life. My life is very strange. And I'm so sorry that that happened to your cousin. Horrible. That's a lifelong trauma. Yeah. But, both of them were found not guilty. So, and unfortunately, I think what helped the office mate situation was the boyfriend. Well, it wasn't even the boyfriend, it was the fiance. It was her fiance. They were set to get married. Had a beer, so he had a small percentage of alcohol. Me personally, I think I know, like, the social worker was probably looking at her stuff and might have pulled out, but that's just my personal opinion on the situation. So anyway, what do you guys think about all of this with Dee Dee and the brownies and the backpack, and she brought True Blood and Game of Thrones with her? So, I mean, that debunks the whole Disney only bullshit they tried to feed us. And says it's crazy. Leland Squirrel says, I still can't get over her dangling herself in front of Nick and basically saying that he better hurry or she'll get with the neighbor. I know. It's just so gross. Rapunzel. That was her favorite movie, wasn't it? Alma, I'm so glad they went to therapy. Those poor babies. I couldn't even imagine. Exactly. Didn't mean to outdo your story either. I hate when people do that. So I'm sorry I did that. Oh, I got a story for you. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Blah. I hate when I catch myself doing things that I don't like being done to myself. I'm so sorry, honey. I'm really, really sorry. Okay, so Jenica says the brownies was to make him forget the remorse that he was feeling or try. Do you think it was because Rapunzel had hair? I mean, I do think that it's a huge thing not to let a little girl have hair. But now that I'm hearing that it was done when she was 16, 17, I don't know. I don't get, unless I am wrong, why Nick claims he only put the knife in her half of the, not even half, like I think it was 4 times he says, and there was a lot of wounds. So I don't get it either. Either somebody else was there or Gypsy helped, in my opinion. It's one of the two. I don't think Nick did it all. Hair is important. Even to this day, hair is important to me. I have cried over haircuts. So it's less and less important to me the older I get. But when I was younger, shoot, bad haircut meant a bad few 3, 6, 7 months or something. I don't know. And I remember being a little girl putting the towel on my head, pretending like it was hair as I playing house. So yeah. Yep, I was forced to have short hair because she didn't have time to comb it. Then I went to school with like a horrible bed head, because when you've got short hair, you've got to be there to like fluff it up for the kid too. I mean, I was getting myself off to school by myself by the 3rd grade. Yeah, by the 3rd grade, I would say. And I'm a younger, I started school when I was 4. So I was like younger than a 3rd grader, really just a 2nd grader. But Gen X, that's, we were the latchkey turnkey kids. So I don't recommend it for anybody, any kid. No kid should be getting their self off to school at the 3rd grade. Yeah, let alone walking to the school, getting themselves off to school and to school. I was always late. Because I was dilly-dallying. All right, guys, I think that's all I have. Let me make sure I did everything. Yeah, no, I think that's all I have for tonight. I'm going to take us out with the sexy photos, the smexy photos of the vampy Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard. I don't want anyone to think that I am romanticizing this story in any way. I don't believe that Dee Dee was this fantastical person. But I think 2 things can be true at once. I think there was a fantastical side of Dee Dee. I think that she was probably a very fun and funny person to be around, very goofy. I think that I would have enjoyed her playful sense of humor. Her making a game of everything, I think that would have been fun. And in these videos that I'm going to take us out with, you can tell that kids liked Dee Dee because in the photos, the kids are flocked around Dee Dee or Dee Dee's standing around the kids. She had a young soul. She doesn't deserve to be gone off this planet. What her daughter did to her was wrong. We won't come on here and I know she did a live and we're not going to come on here and talk about Gypsy doing her makeup because I don't give enough. I don't give a fuck about her makeup. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't want to see her become an influencer, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about her hair and makeup. Although I hate to say that because I'm a hair and makeup girl. I do skincare and suspects for darn sake. Ugh. She makes me mad. Yes, justice for Dee Dee and justice for Nick. Tell me what you want me to do the next live on the Gypsy Rose case. What area of the case you want me to dig into? Put in the comments for me so I know what you are wanting me to do next. I'm going to go. Nope. Let me see what you guys are saying. Tell Amy I'll be back. You lovelies be safe. Have a wonderful weekend. I just saw it. And I will be waiting for you to come back. I'll be waiting for all of you guys to come back. Why did she not know about IP address? I don't know, being traced. I think that was back in the day when you were just starting to learn about all this back end stuff that could be done with the internet and with computers and all that. I don't know. Either that or she's stupid. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to take us out with the little series of Dee Dee videos way back when and up until the very last moment. Not just kidding. I didn't put any of those in there. The way back when machine when Dee Dee was alive and young and vibrant and youthful and living her best life. If nobody's told you this, and even if they have, I'm telling you this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Dee Dee, I understand if you're sick, if you don't feel good, could you please call me back or at least pick up the phone and let me know that everything's okay.
Wash this away. This wound is too deep to heal now. But don't worry about me. I'll paint on my smile. This world is too shallow to drown me. There is the moon hanging low. I see that wonderful orange glow smiling at me straight through the rain. That old comfort I know keeps calling. Wish that the night would swallow this day, and the clouds wouldn't steal the moon from me. But the rain starts to fall, and the moon fades away. This wound is too deep to heal now. Where is the moon hanging low? I miss that wonderful orange glow smiling at me straight through the rain. That old comfort I know keeps calling me. There is the moon hanging low. I see that wonderful orange glow smiling at me through the rain. That old comfort I know keeps calling me. As the wind comes to play, I shall hang from the trees by the feet of a crow, and I will blow a kiss to you. I will blow a kiss to you, and I will whisper to the moon and to the stars and the clouds, and you'll know that the moon can't forgive, and the stars, they just know, and the clouds melt away like the snow, like the snow.
Hi guys, welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly, deep in the heart of sin and you. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you. Here in the blue, I'm dancing with you tonight, and it feels fine. Carefully strumming this old guitar again, words rolling out